Hi bestie, welcome to my channel where you're certainly gonna get hooked on books. And welcome to another new release video. So the theme of this video is all about summer books that are being released in summer. They're definitely not in the summer theme because there's a lot of nice yummy horror in here, so let's get into it. The first one is definitely not horror. It's a romantasy and it's book 2 in the Metal Slinger series. I think it's called Fire and Metal. I'm forgetting right now, but it's called Light Wielder, and obviously I can't talk about the book because it is a book 2 in a series, so I don't want to give any spoilers, but it did come out on June 9th and it's already saved on my Kindle because I'm filming this on June 10th, and I'm so excited to read it because I know it's gonna be so good, and one of the girls in my book club is already reading it and she's obsessed with it, so it basically has me gnawing at the bars of my enclosure to go read it right now. The second book that I have here for you guys is called Headlights by CJ Lead. Currently have on my TBR Mayfly by her, but I haven't gotten to it just yet. But this one, when I read the synopses, I was like, yeah, this sounds good. So let me read it to you guys. Every instinct tells him to run, every memory tells him he can't. Special Agent Daniel Stansfield is ready for a change. Burnt out and defeated by the job, it's his last day with the FBI. But before he could turn in his badge, he's summoned back to Denver, the city he ran from 4 years ago, with a chilling message. It's happening again. Seemingly innocent people are waking up on the side of the highway with no memory of how they got there, wearing the skin of victims they have allegedly never met. And they each share one haunting detail. A strand of a stranger's hair is tied around their tongue. Now Daniel is pulled back into the gruesome cycle, and every clue leads him deeper into the shadows of his own past. He will have to confront the ghost of his traumatic childhood and face what's been hunting him all along, before he and the people he loves becomes the next victims. Sounds fire. And that one was released on June 9th as well. So for our next one is, again, another horror. Can you tell it's one of my favorite genres? This one's called Obstetrics, I believe, by Naomi Kritzer. And this one says, "Oh Lord, deliver us. Dr. Liz has been acquitted for performing the last abortion in North Dakota when she's kidnapped. They're not just any kidnappers, but a fundamentalist cult deep in the rural West, without respect for law or decency, and in desperate need of an OBGYN. Guarded, isolated, without access to the outside world, Liz, nevertheless, is treated with respect as the only doctor on the compound, but she is very aware of what happened to the last obstetrician they kidnapped. She must escape and bring help to the girls trapped at the compound if it's the last thing she does." This one is also being released, was released on June 9th, and honestly, it sounds really good. That cover, I'm obsessed with it. It was giving, at first I thought it was giving like a little bit of a, like Ozempic, like I thought it was gonna be like an Ozempic kind of story again, which honestly I've been eating up a lot this year, but now I'm really excited because now I know it's like dealing with the OBGYN and like a religious cult in a sense. Like, oh, I love a good cult book. The next one I have is a paranormal gay romance, and it's MM, and you know I love me a good MM. And this one is called Dearly Departed by Chip Pons, and then it's rated pretty well already, okay? And the synopsis says this: "Hope is a dangerous thing for gods, even former ones. From the highly beloved," okay, not that part. Here. "Hayden Harlow, once the mighty Hades, has spent centuries quietly resenting his fall from immortality. Stripped of his godhood by the allegedly irreversible immortal Retirement Act, he now runs Harlow and Sons Funeral Home, a front for his eternal sentencing among mortals and a bleak reminder of the purpose he's lost. Still, he's determined to claw his way back, if only the fates of City Hall would stop toying with him. Enter Levi Wilder, a florist with an artist's heart, an infectious smile, and a gift for finding beauty in life's messiest moments. When Hayden storms into Levi's shop to complain about a bouquet of sunflowers, an offensive choice for a funeral in his opinion, the worlds collide. Hayden is all restraint and shadows, Levi is all sunshine and charm. But beneath the clash lies an undeniable spark neither can ignore. As their connection blossoms, Hayden finds himself caught between the life he once knew and the bright future Levi dares him to imagine. But trusting Levi means risking the walls he's kept in place all these years. And it's not just his heart on the line, because in the threads of fate, one choice can change everything." This sounds so freaking cute, guys. Oh my god, I want to read it already. And this one is releasing on June 16th. So the next one we have here is called The Retro by Jessica M. Goldstein. That cover, I'm obsessed with it. Those colors are so cute. And let's see, this is it's like a magical realism sci-fi. And it also says time travel, so let's see. When Ash spots an ad for Retro during a depressing Instagram scroll, she's in debt and unemployed. Everyone else is evidently thriving. She's surprised the algorithm sent this her way. She's heard of recreational time travel, but it's way out of her budget. Then she sees the "come away with us, we're hiring." So begins Ash's life as a time travel agent, leading wealthy tourists on vacation to historical hotspots. She takes bachelorette trips to live out their cowboy romance fantasies in the Old West, throws for your 20s birthday bashes at speakeasies. She smiles politely as rich Wall Street guys give prospecting a shot in the gold rush. It's all thrilling, outrageous, and totally surreal. Bygone America is just a retro metro ride away. Despite Ash's tendencies towards cynicism, she finds herself swept up in her dazzling new job. Sure, Ash isn't the actress she always dreamed she'd be, but isn't this so much better? It's like Ash's life is a movie, complete with an impossible love triangle. How is she supposed to choose between her mysterious office crush and the handsome private eye pursuing her in 1937? So she's gonna have a male in present time and a man in the past? Sign me up right now, guys. For the first time in years, Ash's life feels inevitable, inviable. I don't know how to say that word. So she'd really rather not pay attention to the strange things happening to her memory and relationships outside of Retro. But as her trips threaten to unravel her real life, she confronts an unsettling escaping into the past was never really an escape at all. Yep, I have to read this one. This one sounds so good. And it's coming out on, June 23rd. Okay, so our next one is like a sci-fi horror, and it's by like a pretty iconic horror writer, I would say, Paul Tremblay. It's called Dead But Dreaming of Electric Sheep. Very interesting title for a book, honestly. The cover is really sick though. I love like that, like the eye with like the little like sparkly thing right here. I love that. Like, I don't know what that's called, the glimmer. Julia Flang, a 20-something former semi-professional gamer living with her retired uncle and working 2 jobs she doesn't like. Out of the blue, her estranged mother, a CFO for one of the world's largest tech companies, offers her a temp job with a payday Julia can't refuse. One sham interview later, she's offered the job to chaperone a man in a vegetative state, one with proprietary AI implanted in his head, from California to the East Coast. To sum up in Julia's own words, you want me to remote control this dead dude across the country. In a word, yes, but he's not dead. Meet a middle-aged man who wakes with a disorienting hellscape filled with monstrous grotesqueries. Worse than the fluid, morphing reality in which he's trapped in, he has no memory of who he is. He certainly doesn't remember getting the rabbit tattoo on his arm. He only knows that he must find a certain person. Who? He can't remember. Using a cell phone modeled after a video game controller, Julia fumbly navigates the man she calls Bernie from the company campus and onto planes and through one of the largest airports in America. All the while, the man endures an ever-changing and worsening nightmare that offers clues as to who he was and who he must track down. And as their 2 lives intertwine, Julia and Bernie become unlikely allies and fugitives on a collision course with reality. Oh my gosh, they become fugitives? I'm trying to find out why. That one sounds so good. And this one comes out on June 30th. This next one, when I saw it, I was like, oh, I thought, this just based off the cover, I'll be like, I think this would be like a fall release book. But it's not. This is a paranormal romantasy / urban fantasy, and it's called Witch Season by Julia Bianco. And this says, that is the price of magic, not just the blood, but the pain to bring it out. Catherine Barnes is an enforcer charged with upholding the rules of the notorious Los Angeles-based Aestus Coven. It's her job to maintain order and bring unsettled witches, people who aren't aware they have magic, until it explodes out of them in a catastrophic burst into the Coven's fold. Sounds a little bit like Charmed, the show, like if you know, you know. As a former unsettled witch, Catherine owes her life to Sylvia Page, Coven leader and silver-haired rebel who founded Aestus years ago. When Silas Cautry, heir to Noctis, the most powerful coven in the world, arrives to take Acis to task for some of their more unconventional practices, Catherine's dislike for him reaches blistering levels. She hates his money, his good looks, and his coven's dangerous attitude towards unsettled witches. She can absolutely overlook that he sets her off in more ways than one. But a powerful threat is about to rise, stronger than any one coven, more insidious than the decades-long power struggle that exists in the hidden witch world, one that will pull Catherine and Silas together despite their differences, and one that will lead to an all-out war. Wow, this one sounds pretty decent, and this shows that it's a book 1 in a new series called Broken Coven. So it could be a duology, could be a trilogy. Definitely, I believe that the war aspect that's being presented in the synopsis won't be in book 1, I'm assuming. But nonetheless, it does sound really good. I love a good romantasy. I love that it's a little bit urban too. I don't think I read a lot of those. And this one's coming out on June 30th. Okay, so this next one says that it's a fantasy / magical realism in aspects, and it's called Habits of the Sea by Shea Earnshaw, I believe is the way you say the name. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. But this one says, the night Clay Lockhart's wife dies, a violent storm tears their home, and the 8 hectares of land beneath it, away from the Scottish coast, sending it adrift into the Atlantic. 30 years later, 12-year-old Ellie Mills discovers a fabled floating island off the coast of Nova Scotia and finds Clay still living in the weather-worn farmhouse perched on his highest hill. When the island vanishes overnight, Ellie is left questioning whether it ever existed at all, but decades later, now in her 30s, the island resurfaces and Ellie returns, determined to uncover the truth. What she finds is even Clay hasn't aged a single day. Faced with the impossible, Ellie learns that some mysteries aren't meant to be solved, and that a life shaped by wonder may hold more promise than one bound by certainty. Okay, so it kind of sounds like we're not gonna get like a lot of answers in the book, and sometimes that frustrates me because I'm like, I love speculative fiction, but at the same time, like I want there to be like a kind of clear-cut decision or whatever, however you say it, like that, you know, this is what it is if you think about it logically. But this one regardless sounds really good. I love like that whole magical realism type of book, and this one is coming out on July 7th. This next one is, of course, another horror, but this one is queer because this one is Fabulous Bodies by Chuck Tingle. Chuck Tingle, if you know, he's done Camp Damascus, Bury Your Gaze, and I think it's called Lucky Day. And all of those 3 were very good. So I'm expecting this one to be just as good. So let's see. This one says, fashion influencer by day and grave robber by night, Poppy Stringer is on call when Eddie Michaels, a flamboyant piano-slamming rock star and queer icon, unexpectedly dies. All Poppy has to do is retrieve Eddie's body from the medical examiner's office, but what starts as a routine delivery quickly goes off course when Eddie wakes up. Poppy must fight for her life in a blood-soaked night of carnage and fabulous entertainment all across Palm Springs. Okay, so it's a little light on the synopses, but that just means that Chuck Tingle is going to take it to such a crazy extent, and I'm so excited for this one. Oh my gosh. This one's coming out on July 7th. So this one is a little bit outside of my comfort zone, but I do remember when I'm not only seeing the cover, like that cover's Gorgina, but also the synopsis, it did sound pretty interesting to me. I'm just not remembering right now. But yeah, contemporary romance. I haven't been too into those lately. I've been more into like the romantasy if I want romance. But let's see. This one says, this is how the story goes. Jane will fall in love, and then all of this will vanish. Home for one final summer, Jane is working and saving cash for her senior year of college before she leaves her island town behind forever. At first, she doesn't remember Kenji, but he quickly becomes someone she can't forget. Square jaw, a dimple in his cheek, a high-low boy. To Kenji, she's Janie, nose perpetually buried in her old high school sketchbooks. Jane tells herself it's only a fling, one perfect carefree summer on her way to achieving her dream of becoming an architect and moving to the continent. Then a tsunami sweeps their families out to sea, and their all-consuming affair breaks with the weight of grief, pulling them in opposite directions. Kenji remains in Hawaii, bound by duty to rebuild their hometown. Jane, shattered by the loss, follows her best friend to California. For 7 years, an ocean lies between them until Jane and Kenji meet on another coast. In prose that sparkles like sun in the water, Upano's debut novel. Okay, I don't want to read that whole last part. But damn, okay, so it's kind of giving like a second chance for sure, like second chance romance, 1000%. It sounds really good regardless. But again, I feel a little iffy because I have not been too into contemporary romance. But it's rated pretty well. And I also like to give variety for you guys because I know that you guys don't only read like horror or fantasy or romanticies. So nonetheless, this one is coming out on July 14th. Okay, this next one, of course, it's another horror, but it's also fantasy. And I literally remember now when I saw the name of the book, I was like, yeah, I have to read this one. So this one's called The Winter Folk by Jen Julian. And it says here, this is the story of Moth, who earned her name working for the Winter Folk. Every year, the Winter Folk gather at a secret lodge in the Appalachians, a place known as Deer Haven, refuge for the time-worn and weary. As a child, Moth heard warnings from her. It got cut off. I don't know why, but I'm assuming like her friends, colleagues, people that she knows. I don't know. It says they are heartless, wild creatures and they got no concern of us. At 21, Moth is a college dropout, indebted, impoverished, and desperate for better things. She falls instantly for Deer Haven's beautiful antlered host, the mild-mannered Mr. Oslin. When he offers her a housekeeper's contract, one wish granted for a winter of service, she signs without question. But Deer Haven is a dangerous place. Staff must follow strict rules or else face dire consequences, and the guests can be unpredictable and savage. And yet, Moth endures, enticed by a rumor that Mr. Oslin is looking for a protege, a singular worker who would stay with him forever and be transformed. Decades later, Moth returns to Appalachia with her husband and teenage daughter. She can't shake the feeling that she needs to return to Deer Haven, which banished her 20 years ago. As she hunts for a way in, her haunting memories and harrowing experiences come roaring back, her friends and rivals, her growing obsession with Mr. Oslin, and her mysterious exile. A door exists in the dark of the woods. After so long away, what has Deer Haven become? This one sounds super, super, super good. It sounds like it's gonna be like so unsettling. Definitely I feel like there might be some type of cannibalism in there. I don't know, just speculating here, but I'm so excited. And this one comes out on July 21st. All right, so this next one is a YA LGBT thriller. And I haven't been like reading too much YA, but there is certain YA that I do still read that, really does capture my attention. It still has me hooked because it reads more adult, just like the themes are not as intense. And this one is by an author I've never heard of before. It's called Take It to Your Grave by Lou Angie Beaumontes. And it says, Maximilio Rafael Guerrero Lopez, or Max, has been dead for 30 years. He's stuck as a 16-year-old in his childhood bedroom with no memory of how he died and no company aside from rotting floorboards and mildew-ridden guitars. Joaquin Felix Ladron, or Joaquin, is a high schooler who's desperate to experience something paranormal. He'd do anything to even catch a glimpse of a ghost, even if it means sacrificing his relationship with his boyfriend. When Joaquin goes on a ghost hunt at an abandoned house that's rumored to be haunted, he and Max find their fates becoming intertwined in ways neither of them expected. But as Max's powers begin to grow stronger, it becomes clear that their tentative friendship may just prove to be fatal. Yeah, this one sounds really good, honestly. It's only giving YA because of Joaquin being a high schooler, probably. But yeah, this one is coming out on July 21st, and it seems like I'm gonna have to read it because it sounds good. All right, and then the last one I have here for you guys, and this is a horror fantasy, and it's also queer. I love everything queer, especially during Pride Month. And this one's called The Salt King by Natasha Pulley. This one says, Jesuit priest Evelyn Brocken was born into a mining family in Roardwater. I'm saying that name completely wrong, probably. A small, isolated salt town in England. At 16, after a mining disaster killed his family, he fled. When a fellow priest is miraculously healed, only to then be turned to salt after a visit to Roardwater, Evelyn is sent to investigate. When he arrives, the town's Dr. Jericho tells him that the priest is not the only one experiencing strange cures and may not be the only one in danger from a substance in the mine that the locals call Salt Light. As Evelyn and Jericho team up to protect the hoard water from Salt Light, strange happenings occur at mines around the world. At an archaeological dig on the Dead Sea, electrical devices froth salt, while at a huge salt works in Poland, communication is lost and rumors circulate of total annihilation. As Salt Light devastates cities around the world, Evelyn must decide what to believe and whether his faith is strong enough to withstand an apocalypse. Oh my gosh. That sounds actually, now that I reread the synopsis, it sounds really, really good. And I know that it's gonna have like really strong religious commentary. Like, ugh, I love when like books do that commentary on religion and like, you know, like they really like take the little pieces of different religions and different sectors and they just, I love it. And also that cover, fire. Love that cover. But there you have it, besties. Those are 13 new release books that are coming this summer. Which one is like the most interesting to you? I definitely feel like there's a lot of them on here that I'm dying to read already, that I've been adding for sure onto my TBR. And we all know that the TBR is never ending, so it's just gonna keep on growing. I don't care at this point. It's to be read, and it will be read eventually. Am I right? But if you like this video, make sure to go ahead and give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Make sure to also hit the notification bell because it notifies you every single time I post a new video. And if you made it this far into the video, make sure to go ahead and leave me a little sun emoji just because we are finally in summer. We're finally starting summer at one of the best times of the year. I love me some vitamin D both ways. And with that, bestie, let's get hooked.